hasadim tovim vekonei hakol vesoher haste avot ve'imaot ve'ume vigulam blivnei b'neihem lema'an shemo be'ahava mela ozer u'moshia u'magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mehayeh Kol Ata V'Loshia Meshiv Ha'arura Umorid Hagashem Mehayel Hayim Behesed Mehayeh hakol berahamim rabim Someh nofelim verofei holim Umiatir asurim Umkaye umato Lishenei afar Mikamo haba'al gevurot Umido melach mimit umechaye umatmiya Yeshua v'ne'eman atav lehayo takol Baruch ata Adonai mehaye hakol
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam Keshem shemakdishim oto bishmei marom kakatuv al yad neviecha v'kara ze el ze ve'amar
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Sefaot Melo ha'aretz Kevodo
Adir, Adirenu Adonai, Adonenu Madir Shimcha Bechol Haaretz.
Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo
Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshi'enu, vehu Yashmi'enu, verachamav le'inei kol chai.
Ani Adonai Eloheihem Yimloch Adonai Leolam El Hai Tzion Lador Vador Hallelujah
L'tov ador nagid godlecha, u'lenetzach netzachim kiddushatcha nakdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity you proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Yismechu
v'malechuteha shomre, 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 Shabbat
v'korei oleg Shabbat. Yismechu
v'malechuteha shomre, shomre, shomre,
Shabbat v'korei oleg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, mekadeshei shvi'i
Shabbat
Kulam yisveu v'tangu mitvecha Shabbat Yismechu
v'malechuteha
Shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat V'korei oleg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat V'korei oleg Shabbat ועשית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We take a moment for silent prayer.
Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imiru Ose shalom imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imiru amen. Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imiru amen.
We come now to Seder Kriyat Torah, the Shabbat, the service for the reading of the Torah on the Sabbath morning. And this Shabbat is known in our Jewish tradition by a unique name. Every so often we have certain Shabbatot, certain Sabbaths that have specific names, and it has to do with the season of the year that we're in. And If you are in the Jewish community, perhaps you know that Passover is coming up. If you don't know that, Passover is coming up. I just want to make sure you know, and that you should know that. That's an important thing to know. If you're in the Christian community, right, you actually have, it's an interesting confluence this year. We have Easter next weekend, and then, of course, if you're Muslim, we have Ramadan all at the same time. So three seasons matching up all at once. But in the Jewish community, this Shabbat is known as Shabbat HaGadol, the Great Sabbath. And it was any Sabbath where you're leading, Asher, is clearly a great Sabbath, right? But this Sabbath is known as the Great Sabbath because it is the Shabbat, it is the Sabbath right before the holiday of Passover. And at the holiday of Passover, we recognize, right, this age-old story that our people had experienced slavery and servitude and pain and oppression in Egypt. And they had the audacity, we call it chutzpah, to imagine a better place in a promised land and to go towards that promise together. And perhaps the most important commandment of the Passover story is that we're supposed to teach that story of liberation and possibility and promise and potential, the idea of redemption. We're supposed to teach it to the generations of our family, to our children. And the question might be, well, why? Why do we teach it to our children? And the answer is that if we want our tradition to last for an eternity, if we want our tradition to continue on, we make sure that our children can hold the teachings, the values, the principles, the ideas, and apply it to the ways in which they walk through the world in life. And so when Asher holds the Torah this morning, it is both a literal holding of the Torah, but it is also a figurative holding the Torah of a recognizing that the gift is his to hold and to walk with in life. During COVID, we had a lot of online B'nai Mitzvah. And we had family members from all over the globe unable to come to the Bar Mitzvah. And what we did is we invited people to do a figurative Torah passing by actually sharing words about, today I want to pass to you, and passing on something that they want to pass to the Bar Mitzvah student. And there are a few COVID keepers that we have decided to keep. Baking copious amounts of challah in our household is one of them. Apparently we're going to keep that. But one of the other ones that we're going to keep is the idea of being able to verbally pass the Torah and about the special gifts that we have that we want the generations of your family to pass to you, Asher. So for the spoken pass, I want to invite a few people forward, but I actually want to invite your parents to come up here to stand with you, with you over here. So come over here. You guys are going to go. Perfect. Now, for the spoken pass, I want to invite forward, and I'm thrilled to do so, your great-uncle Jay Parton, who has kept everything running on Shalom Park for many, many years. And Jay, we are thrilled to have you in our sanctuary. Your aunt Eliza Carney, Janet Schreibman, Janice Kenmore, and Diane Chaffman. And if you'll come around and come stand in a line, Jay will lead the line, and Cantor is going to lead him. And I'm also going to invite forward Paige Grimaldi, Britton Gilmore, Betsy Silverman, and Kathy and Lenny Hertzfeld, if you'll come forward. Asher, we have generations of your family who want to pass to you something valuable of our tradition, something that they hold, that they hope that you will carry on in your life. Jay, if you would lead us and then give him a hug and come around and go take a seat. Thank you.
Today, as I pass this Torah down to you, I share my love of Jewish holiday family celebrations.
Today, as I pass this Torah down to you, I share my love for creative expression, Jewish tradition, family, and Jewish community.
Today, as I pass this Torah down to you, I share with you your Papu Mike's devotion to family. I knew I wouldn't get through it. Our appreciation for theater and the fine arts, and equally important, our mutual obsession with the University of Alabama Crimson Tide.
As I pass this Torah to you, I share with you my love of learning our history through our shared love of reading. Asher, Paige can't be here today with you, and she so wishes she could be. So what she'd like to say to you is, as she passes the Torah down to you, she shares her love of family traditions and Sephardic food. And then as I pass the Torah down to you, I want to share with you moments like this to share with family and friends and wish you a lifetime of moments like this.
As I pass this Torah to you, I share with you valuable Jewish friendships that can take you all over the world.
As I pass the Torah to you, I want to give you my love of our family and my energy to get you through life and to be just as happy as you can be.
Asher, as I pass down the Torah to you, I share my love of family, friends who become family.
Asher, as I pass this Torah down to you, I express the love of our family to yours, to your entire mishpachah, your entire family, that we will stay friends and family forever.
I'm going to ask the congregation to please rise while we take the literal Torah out from the ark.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Yalai, 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 yalai,
Give your parents to sit down. Wait for your parents. Once they're seated, then you go.
This morning, I'm going to read from the Parsha Metzorah, which is found in the book of Leviticus. In the Torah, Moses and Aaron receive a message from God, explaining that God will inflict a type of eruptive plague called tzarat on people's homes in the Promised Land. My Torah portion is mostly teaching how to rid our homes and bodies from tzarat. According to the commentaries, tzarat is many different types of diseases. While commonly translated as leprosy, we don't actually know what tzarat was because it could affect both houses and people. The book of Leviticus gives specific instructions for how a priest would help the people to clean and get rid of the infection. Our rabbis also wanted to understand the cause of the plague so they could prevent it from happening again. Jewish tradition says that plague is caused by slandering people and speaking poorly about others publicly. 2,000 years ago, Rabbi Yohan explained that spreading lies undermines the godliness inside a person you're speaking about. The consequence was the plague. Spreading lies and slandering people is bad and undermines the sense of godliness in another person. Slander can and does hurt people, but I also don't think that the plague is a result of poor behavior. Plenty of people slander others and don't get plague or other types of sicknesses. I don't think that God punishes everyone who slanders. Sometimes there is a consequence for speaking slander. People could feel betrayed and not like the person who slanders. People aren't going to trust the person who spoke slander either. And the person could get in real trouble. When someone slanders another, we shouldn't wait for God for a divine punishment. We should tell them that they are wrong, and we should support the person who is negatively affected by the slander so they can stand up for themselves and be supported. Friends, if mold grows on the bricks of your home, try to clean it or call a professional. While we can appreciate what the ancient rabbis said, we can also agree that the mold is not some form of divine punishment. And if by chance you slander someone, take responsibility for it and apologize. If you hear slander, don't spread it like a plague. Tell the person who slandered that they did something wrong and support the victim. Shabbat Shalom.
As we get set up, I want to teach everyone a phrase. So everyone say yasher. Say koach. Put that together. Say yasher koach. Yasher koach means keep up the strength. In Charlotte, we say keep pounding. And what yasher koach means is we say keep up the strength and thank you for leading us. Thank you for honoring Shabbat and honoring the Torah. And this is what we say to people who have in honor, like in Aliyah. We say, keep up the strength. In other words, keep doing what you're doing so that you can do it more for our community. So we'll, at the end of the Aliyah, each Aliyah, we'll say that, and of course, Asher's will be the last, and so we'll say it very loudly, just like you said very loudly, Shabbat Shalom. I know you can say it loudly. I heard you practice before, so we will do that. We're going to call up to the Bima your grandparents, Linda Bass and Ira Bass and Sarah Schreibman. Accompanied by Sadie Pearl.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim, Natan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai, Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor, ki tavo'u el eretz Canaan asher ani noten lahem la'ahuzah v'natati negat zara'at beveit eretz ahuzatem uva asher lo habait v'higid lakohen lemor kenega nirali babayit.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan v'torahenu. Baruch atah Adonai, notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
And we say, Yesher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
Keep up the strength. Thank you for honoring Shabbat and Torah and your grandson and your big brother today. And you'll give him a big hug.
Love you.
And you'll go stand on the other side of Cantor Thomas. For the second Aliyah, your parents, Renee and Philip, please come forward.
Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Vitziva hakohen ufinu et habayit beteram yavo hakohen lirot et hanega velo itma kol asher babayit ve'ahar kain yavo hakohen lirot et habayit ve'ra'a et hanega ve'hine hanega Bekirot habayit sheka'arurot yirakrakot o adam damo umarehen shafar min hakir vayatza hakahen min habayit el peta habayit vehiskir et habayit shivat yamim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein HaTorah.
Amen. We say, Yesher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
If you will give him a big hug, and don't worry about the Torah. Do not worry. We'll get it.
We got it. Asher, we're at my very favorite part in the service, which is the part where we call you for your official bar mitzvah aliyah to the Torah. Here we go. Asher Davis Schreibman, it's our privilege to call you as a bar mitzvah. Ya'amud. Asher David ben Ruchel Esther v'Pinchas David ha bar mitzvah la aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Vishav hakohen bayom hashvi'i vera'a vehine pasa hanega bekirot habayit vitziva hakohen vehiletzu et havanim asher bahen hanaga vihishlihu eten el mihutz la'ir El makom tameh. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan betohenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say a very loud Yesher Koach. For all of the strength that you have to learn Torah and to teach us and to do all the wonderful things that you have done, but to honor our tradition and to honor the Sabbath and to honor the generations of your family. Mazel Tov, Yesher Koach. Keep up the strength. You did a beautiful, beautiful job. As we have the Torah out each and every Shabbat, we take time to think of the people in our community who are in need of healing, the healing of mind and body and spirit and soul. And their names are going to be scrolling on the screen. And as the names scroll across the screen, we recognize also that sometimes the people that are in need of healing are in hospital rooms. Sometimes they're back at home, or you're tuning in from wherever you might be. Sometimes they're the people who are sitting right next to you. Sometimes it's you. And the words of healing, this prayer, is also a mirror to ourselves, inviting us to recognize the ways in which not only can we pray to God for healing of mind and body and spirit and soul, but the ways that we can help by making a phone call, by bringing a meal, by living with the value of a warm embrace and hug, and supporting all who are in our community. So I want to invite you here to say either out loud or silently in your heart the name of someone that you're thinking about, so that we can pray for them with the names that we have on the screen, these words. As my eyes go around the room, I invite you to say their names either out loud or in your heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Rafehe Cholim. Blessed are you, O God, who supports, who comforts those in need.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha avotenu. Bless the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I invite the congregation to please rise as we address the Torah and return it back to the ark.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
I would like to thank everyone who helped me on my journey to get here, including all my madrahim, tutors, teachers, and all the clergy. Thank you to everyone I have met in Sunday school, Sheva, and all the Jewish camps I have gone to, and thanks to my giant family out there supporting me. I would especially like to thank my aunts, uncles, and cousins for their love and constant support. It means a lot to me. On this day, I'm thinking about my papu, my father's father, who passed away 6 years ago and is very much missed. I'm really lucky to have such incredible grandparents. Safta, you are so kind and caring. I love our sleepovers and making mandel bread in frizzle dadu or spanakopita. Nana and Poppy, I love your spaghetti and meatballs, pancakes, and sleepovers. If you haven't figured it out, my grandparents feed me really well. But the most important ingredient in their food is love, and I sure get a lot of it having them so close by. I love you all so much. Mayor, it is possible that we've gotten annoyed with each other once or twice. You have an incredible spirit. You are playful and loving toward our family. You are the best brother. And to Sadie Pearl, you are the cutest and best sister I have personally ever had, and I really appreciate how much fun you are to play with. Mom and Dad, thank you for encouraging me to live my life and cheering me on, teaching me important lessons and helping to guide me. You too have helped to shape me into the person that I am, and I thank you with all my heart for your love and support. Mom and Dad, please join me on the bima.
Asher. First, let me say how proud your father and I are of you. You've accomplished a pretty great achievement today as a young Jewish man, and you've traveled quite a journey to arrive at this milestone in your life. We're so proud, so gushy with all the feels. It's been a busy couple of months for you between mock trial debate practices, playing the role of Rooster in your middle school's inaugural spring play Annie Jr., bar mitzvah preparations with speeches, blessings, and Torah study, and all the responsibility that comes with being the oldest sibling. There's been no shortage of competing priorities. You've become quite the juggler. You've even managed spare time for Clash of Clans. Okay. Lots of time for Clash of Clans. Despite the stress and juggling all the activities, even playing video games between rehearsals and after-school practices, wow, just wow. Look at you now. You're a bar mitzvah. After today, you get to put a big check in the Asher column. You wowed us all and earned some major bargaining chips, maybe even credibility as a young man. We didn't say leverage, just credibility. It's already been said, B'nai Mitzvah is a rite of passage for young Jewish men and women in the tradition of Jews for centuries. Being called to the Torah, interpreting and learning Torah, and teaching Torah on Shabbat to our Jewish community right here. After today, you observe the Jewish worship rituals as an adult, but today, you led them. Your bar mitzvah is nearly... Poor daddy. This is why I'm reading it. Your bar mitzvah is nearly complete. Everyone got to experience what our family already knows. Underneath the quiet, thoughtful, clever, and curious exterior is a driven, fearless, and inspiring young leader who took to the bima with courage and raised our congregation up, made us all a little bit better, and shared some of your own ideas and wisdom. It's going to be okay, I promise. Just keep reading. You're a very impressive young man, and many here probably agree, but probably aren't surprised either. You've been passed the Torah figuratively and literally. And obviously, Judaism is important to you. I'm not surprised. You were raised in this building, and your family roots are deep here. We helped move Temple Bethel from Providence Road in those comfy pews Daddy used to nap on to this wonderful building here on Shalom Park. You ate plenty of snacks on the tables here during Tat Shabbats and in Safta's office when she worked here for years. You may have even napped in a pack and play way back when in her office. We've had family weddings and ufrafs here, baby brisses and namings. We've had consecrations and confirmations. Your daddy was bar mitzvah on this same bima in 1992 and was the third ever bar mitzvah in this temple. Safta was bat mitzvahed in 2006 too. We mourned Papu on this bima, even youth group dances for your daddy and I when we were kids, all in this building. Our family is at home in this place, and today you too, with your bar mitzvah. Though not all of our family could be here today to witness your achievement, they're all here with you in spirit. And those of us here with you in person today, we are really proud of you. What a mitzvah. You did great. We love you. Now let's celebrate.
I'm going to ask the congregation to please rise. Asher, your mom and dad, well, your mom and dad just both spoke to you, but your dad through your mom also, they just spoke to you. And they actually said something that I was going to say too, which is that you come from a family that literally built this place and have made Judaism important in their lives, not just by the gifts of time and energy and effort and support, but because day in and day out, they choose to live with the values of our tradition in their lives. And you are who you are because of the ways in which your family and an extended family chooses to live. And now it's your choice to move forward and to tackle hard things. And frankly, a Torah portion about scaly ailments It's a pretty hard thing to tackle right off the bat. It's a good start. It's a gross one of all the Torah portions you could have got. Right? I do know. And the way that you did it was with a question mark about what this means and how do I apply this and how do I think about it. And so my prayer for you and our prayer for you is that you continue to question, you continue to read, you continue to have conversation, and that when things get tough in life, that you go back always to the values of who you are and know that they will support you just as much as your family and your community will support you in life. At the center of the Torah here is a prayer called Birkat Kohanim. And the prayer is really one of the oldest prayers that we have. It's a prayer that is written on an amulet that they've dated to 3,500 years ago. And it's at the very center of the Torah, and it's the prayer that the priests would give to our people, and it's the prayer that parents give to their children. And so there's a response that we as a congregation say when we hear the words of this prayer. We say, Ken Yehi Ratzon, and we're going to practice that in a second. Everyone say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Put it together, say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Means may this be God's will. And we say this in response so that your parents who are going to place their hands upon your shoulders, they are the conduit, the vessels by which this whole congregational community who are present and who are online are blessing you today with this old blessing at the center of the Torah. So take a moment to look at the Torahs. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. And we're going to bless you with this threefold benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God walk with you all of the days of your life, and may God be with you as you gain wisdom from books and share that wisdom with others, and may God bless you with the most important blessing of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and of shlemut, of wholeness. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. And let us all say,
Amen.
We stay standing and continue with the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula li'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu koreim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo echad.
Sadie Pearl and Mayor, if you want to come up as well, you can come sit with your parent, with your family. Restroom. Of course. Of course. I spent a lot of bar mitzvahs in the restroom myself when I was growing up. Shocking. The worst thing that can happen is you end up being a rabbi. All right. The words of Kaddish at home, the words of the mourner's Kaddish, are words that connect us to generations past. As I said last night, they're the ligament that sort of ties us together with generations that came before us. They're a thank you to God for the lives that were lived and for the way that their lives impacted ours. And every time we have a celebration like this, we truly recognized how layered our lives are. Layered because there is joy and celebration, and there's some sadness too, about chairs that are unfilled, about love that is unbroken by death. And so, at each and every service, too, we think of our loved ones, whom death has recently taken from us, and those who died at this season in years past. And we bring them into our hearts. We remember them. We remember their stories, their laughter, the way that they made us feel. And we remember as well, always, sometimes the way that they made us frustrated too. The full completeness of their lives. In our congregation, our tradition is to stand when the name of our loved ones are read. We're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days after the deaths of Jerry Bernstein, Robert Chemau, June Owen, Perry Flick, Linda Guru, Ann McDonald, Lloyd E. Merkelson, Max Shore, and Gary Wall. We mark with sympathy and sadness the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Hannah Ackerman, Faye Alpert, Eleanor August, Lila L. Batt, Albert Berlin, Thelma Bogus, Vilma Senover, Hazel Cole, Matthew Coleman, Julia Naaman Connor, Marcos Eliezer Francis, Joseph A. Friedman, Frank Alfred Gimple, Herman Glass, Armin Gold, Arthur Goldberg, Samuel Goldfarb, Estelle Guzner, Harriet Moulter Greenberg, Beatrice Harkavy, Moses Monash Helfman, Robert Hindle, Richard W. Johnson, Cheryl Cannell, Abraham King, William Koslow, Gussie Cossack, Irene L. Kosov, Ira Wallace Liebner, Mae Gessen Levinson, Michael Lichtstraw, Harry Aaron Mackler, Wilhelmina N. Mackler, Edward Medallia, Suzanne P. Margolis, Dora Margolis, Helen Melman, Guadalupe Morales, Bernard Nagel, Bessie Oxer, James Parker, Carol Proctor, Elizabeth Rath, Lester Ritter, Max Rosenberg, Jean Roskin, Herbert Rothkopf, Mary Schoenberg, Dora Schwartz, Harvey Sherman, Herbert Signer, Morton Silverstein, Hattie Smith Cinco, Ida Adele Slack, Benjamin Smith, Estelle Stevens, Barbara Lewis Waller, Michael M. Werner, Bronya Wind, Edward Wolf, Victor Yaffe, Esther Zaidman, Herbert Zorn. Asher's family wishes to remember on this day H. Michael Schreiber, Jane and Myron Schreiber, Pinky Hassan, Steve Bass, Esther and Joe Bass, Ruth and David Parton, Betty and Joe Hockhauser. Remember as well all who died. And Estelle Stevens, excuse me. Remember as well all who died in the Shoah, in the Holocaust, our American servicemen and women who gave their lives for our freedoms, and those who have died defending the state of Israel. And we are particularly cognizant of those who have died through Russian aggressions in Ukraine. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing as we rise as one congregational family with the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yitz Gadal vayitz Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei olamaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitzramam v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirakta Tush b'chata v'nechemata Damiram be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Hu ya'afseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Okay, Asher, we're just about at the end. You have your immediate family with you. Come on up. We're going to conclude with Kiddush and with Motzi. But first, before we do that, we offer the words of Shehachianu in gratitude for you having reached this milestone, for each one of us having reached this moment where we get to be with you on this day. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh I think for me, one of the most exciting things about this day for you, Asher, is that I know that it is, I'm going to your mom. She's going to decide. Okay, well, here we go. One of the most exciting things to me is that for all the reasons that your mom said, for all the reasons that Rabbi Knight said, today is just a moment in your Jewish life. This is just a snapshot of togetherness and accomplishment and achievement with all of these people who love and care about you, and the future is so bright. And I know we cannot wait to see what is next for you as you continue to grow as a fine young Jewish man and leader. We join together in the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen l'chaim. There's too many things happening up here. All right, here we go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min
Teva.
And Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov! Shabbat Shalom!
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.